Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning into the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is In-State Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
Mic's on. Is it on?
Hey, welcome to Conversations with Cupid. I'm your host, Shay, middle class matchmaker, and I'm so excited about our show tonight. I'm going to, if you're new to the show and you don't know who I am, I'm a certified matchmaker and dating coach, and my show, Conversation with Cupid, is a platform for singles, and we discuss love and relationships, dating, and all of those topics. No topic is off the record for our show, and tonight is no different. Tonight we're going to be discussing Black men and the desire for marriage, and I'm very excited about our topic tonight. We have two brothers in the studio with us. Of course, you all are encouraged to chime in as well as call in and ask your questions. I'm going to let our brothers introduce themselves. Derek, you're no stranger to Conversations with Cupid, so we'll start with you. Please introduce yourself, your age, your profession, what else you want them to know about you.
My name is Derek Henderson. I like long walks on the beach, poetry, trap music, and Hennessy.
Okay. Derek, you're so funny. All right, and then we have Rodney May, this is your first time on Conversations with Cupid.
Yeah, this is the first time for me.
Please introduce yourself.
I'm Rodney May. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, 27 years of age. I like traveling. I like trying new things. You know, I don't know about long walks on the beach. I've never had those experiences.
But you would try it.
Hopefully one day.
All right, and how old are you two?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 35.
And you are?
27.
27. Neither of you have been married?
No.
And no kids?
No.
Okay.
We common law?
Counting who?
Common
You've
law
been
married.
common law married?
No, I'm just kidding.
You haven't been married at all?
No marriage.
So silly. All right, and y'all can share the video to your page, and then your friends can chime in as well. So we're going to jump in. Marcus said yo to you, your frat brother.
Yo. Yo to the good noobs out there.
Yes. All right, so we're going to jump in. So you two have never been married, and a lot of times when you think about the generation before us, they were married by your age. They were married 22, 23. They were married. They had a family by your age.
Right.
So whereas today, it doesn't seem odd for you not to be married, but you're at the time where people start expecting you to be married. 35, it's like, okay, when are you going to get married? Do you feel these pressures? How do you feel about marriage at this point?
I'm going to let him shine in first, and I'll offer my opinion.
Okay.
I felt pressure a few years ago when I started hitting my early 30s.
You started feeling the
So I'm
pressure?
now in the mid-30s.
You are mid-30s.
I did feel the pressure a little bit, but over the last 2 years, I'm like, it is what it is, and I hate that phrase. But I'm enjoying my life, so it's not about hitting a arbitrary goal mark. You really got to just enjoy your life, period, and attract what you want to come into your life, period. So this is what my life is. I don't plan out the script. I just live it. So I'm not married right now, so that's what it is. And I'm trying to destigmatize the whole being single thing and not being married. It's a lot easier for me as a man.
I was going to say that. I think women definitely feel a different type of pressure at 35 because you're now high risk, for pregnancy. And now we have a clock because of that. If you want to have kids, 35 is like, oh my God, it's like Mayday. You need to hurry up and do something. You know what I mean? Whereas you probably don't feel that same pressure at 35 is what you're explaining.
No, it's just qualitative. I think a lot of people probably expect to be married and at least had a kid already, one kid, or at least on the way by 30. I think that's like a milestone age. So you definitely feel the pressure from that. But just growing in my 30s period, a lot of pressure from the 20s and not knowing how life is. And I love my 30s, so I'm enjoying my life. And I look forward to getting married when that time comes. But right now,
you're enjoying
this
it.
is where I'm at right now.
What about you, Rodney? Are a lot of your friends married around this time?
A lot of my friends are not married around this time.
Okay.
But I am fortunate enough to see like a lot of my line brothers. They are married.
Okay.
They're happy. It's a different outlook. And just growing up, I didn't see that in the household.
Okay.
So I was in single parent home.
Okay.
And I seen my great grandmother, granddaddy, they was married for like 30, 40 years. Like wow, that's a long time to be with an individual. And not seeing it from your own parents is kind of it's different. and then going off to college, and then getting out of college, you hit the real world. You know.
Yeah. And I want to talk about that too, because I think that's what's different in this generation. Is many of our generation, our parents either got divorced. We saw our parents go through divorce, or some of them weren't married at all.
Exactly.
So a lot of us grew up with, in a single parent household, and so then you saw that it's possible to be an adult and not be married. So it's not the same pressure that the generation before had, where they grew up with married couples. So that's what they thought. That's what was expected of them. It's a little different. Do you agree?
It's a different age. It's a different time. I feel like with marriage these days, like people don't have the same morals.
What does that mean?
It's accountability and responsibility to each other. I think social media, I think television programming, love and hip hop, key indicator of like a divorce waiting to happen.
With the drama.
It's a lot of drama.
Yeah.
It's a lot of lies, a lot of stories, and social media. It wasn't social media back in the day.
Correct,
So 30 years of marriage, it was strictly,
Private,
I'm coming home. Yeah, it's private. Everybody knew who was important. But now it's like, it's a game. Like, everybody just wants to get married just to say they're married. People want
just
rings.
Post wedding pictures on Facebook.
Instagram,
You know what I
too.
mean?
Instagram,
And
too.
Instagram, yeah.
So it's
These relationship goals. I really feel like a lot of people want to do it for that, for social media.
To get
you
the
want to put on
Instagram-
for
Yeah.
them, for the
Get their
likes.
Instagram
get their likes up,
popping.
right?
Yes.
Get their likes up. That's
Yeah,
what
to
it
get
is.
your likes up. But like, to your point, people got married, and it was just about what matters in my household, what matters in my family. It wasn't to impress anybody else.
It's no tradition these days. It's none at all. Like I said, it goes back to like morals and like growing up. Like what do you want? What do you see? A lot of people don't have that mindset to want marriage because of everything so easy. Back in the day, a man had the like temptations. They begging. Baby, please don't go.
Right.
And, like it's like. Basically, it's like it's whatever. I found another one. Somebody's always side chick.
Sad, isn't it?
It's
It
crazy.
Ain't nothing to cut 'em off.
I can't deal with you, but it's true. But I know people say that we reminisce on the old days too much, and we romanticize them and glorify them because we know they weren't perfect either. Folks back then were cheating too. But I think it was a difference. I think the side chicks had their place. They had their lane, where now it's glorified to be a side chick and glorified to home wreck. It's like,
Right.
it's a different mentality. But when I was a little girl, I had my wedding planned. My Ken and Barbie got married, and I knew, I wanted to be married by 25 or whatever. Like, did you plan like that as little boys? Were you thinking, I want to be married by this age, and this is how I want my wedding to be? This is how my wife? Did you have those thoughts as little boys?
No.
No? You?
Nah, not.
So it's just little girls?
I think that's just a little girl. That's
Yeah,
the
just little
furthest
girls.
thing.
My G.I. Joes was fighting and everything.
Right.
I'm not thinking. I
Dragon
remember
Ball
being
Z.
at school, and the girls used to, every other day, they had their little notebook out.
We always
with
did that.
drawing the
Yes,
house and
yes,
the kids.
yes.
And what got me crazy is like, okay, y'all planning out the days, the ages, the kids, how many kids you want. But what got me is the girls would even plan out, I'm having twins. Like, how you gonna plan?
'Cause
You
that's
have
what we
twins,
wanted. It
and
was
it's a
just
girl
cute.
and a boy.
That's
Like,
perfect. You have a boy and a girl. That's perfect. It's just like, I don't know why that is, but I was one of those little girls who was doing that. And every boy that I dated, I would put my name with his, and I would write my name with his name, like saying my name.
But what if his last name didn't go good?
I know there were some names I didn't like, but like if you're dating a little boy and his last name is Johnson, and you say your name with Johnson, and you say your name with Miller, and you say, it's just what a lot of girls do. I know every girl isn't like that, but a lot of girls do that, and y'all don't do that, huh?
Now, do you think that contributes to our topic as far as, do you think you all are socialized to do
I think
that?
we're socialized. I mean, when you think about just childhood toys, we have dolls. So that's preparing us to have kids. It's preparing you for motherhood. I learned how to braid on my little doll's hair. My mom said I would take if my clothes got too little, I would cut them up and make clothes for my dolls. So I'm preparing myself for motherhood.
Did you have an easy bake oven?
I had an easy bake oven. Yes, no, and the toys that we had groomed us to be somebody's mama. Like you carrying my baby doll went with me everywhere. Christmas pictures is me holding my doll. So it's like a baby. I'm changing her diapers. I'm feeding her. I'm doing her hair, So I'm prepared for motherhood. And you think about, I want to get married. I want to have a baby. It's like goals for us. So I think the pressure, and I don't want to speak for all women. I want them to chime in too, but I can speak for myself. I think the pressure of get married and have a kid although I kind of did that backwards. I did have a kid first, but I think the pressure is there. This is what you want to do. Like, it's a goal, and it doesn't sound like y'all had the same goal.
Definitely not for me, and it was never a conversation growing up between me or the fellas, or even now as far as looking back at it. It's just something that sort of we get to. It's sort of like a timeline. You fall off a cliff, and it's just like you ready to get married. From what I'm, from my experience.
So y'all didn't like sit around like, okay, man, I'm gonna get married at this point, and y'all don't.
No,
do that?
it was just a particular person. Like back in the day, it might be I'm gonna marry Tyra
Okay.
Banks.
Okay.
Or,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, well, I see Megan Good. I'm gonna marry her.
Okay, so you
It's
did
only
that.
like
you had the crushes, like you were married, like
so you did have your crushes.
exactly.
Okay.
So I think my crush back in the day was Monica. Like
Oh,
Monica
yeah,
was like
yeah.
the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I swore I was gonna marry her.
Yeah.
And then you get into the real world, it's like I ain't gonna get Monica. So
No, I don't think you're gonna get Monica. I think Shannon got her locked down.
For the time
the
being.
basketball player, right?
Yeah, she was a
Shannon
basketball
Brown.
player. She just had a new baby. I think you might let that go.
Yeah.
All right, let me read what some of the
it's hope.
comments are, because I don't want to speak for all women. I know that I'm a girly girl. I'm probably more traditional than some ladies, so I can't speak for all of them. I know that there are different types of women. All right, Shakita say she can't see anything. Michael says let's blame hip hop and social media. He rolled his eyes. People needed to get married then. They don't now. I think that's a good point. Let's talk about that, because people did need to get married. I think back to my grandparents who had 7 kids. You know, my grandfather was I think he laid like railroad, whatever. So he made really good money for those times, but they had 7 kids. So it's like, whatever money you got to feed 7 children. And that's a struggle. And if she were to leave him, she couldn't do it without him. Like, in order to raise these 7 kids, they had to stay together. She needed his income and hers in order to raise those 7 kids. That's not the situation today. Most of us can raise children on our own. Do you think that contributes to the, like, there's no pressure there's no need to get married?
That's a tough one.
You want to chime in?
Yeah, I do, because
Can we get her mic? Hold on, you just gotta hold on, because he's gotta tee you up. But when
Mic
he's teed
check.
up, he'll
Mic
let you
check.
know.
Mic check. Mic check.
Okay, there you go. We have come up so they can see who you are. If you can introduce yourself. We have some people sitting in our audience back here who are chiming in. Introduce yourself, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bria.
Hi, Bria.
I just turned 25.
Okay.
Yes, my birthday was on the 5th of this month.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Like last week.
Yeah, like 2 days ago,
Okay,
on the
okay.
5th. So happy birthday to all the Virgos that are watching. And I just wanted to say, I think marriage was never necessary for us to raise our kids, but it is a partnership that is necessary once you create a child. That village is always necessary. The income really alleviates some of the pressure from the other parent not being there, and that's kind of why we make more money, so it can seem like it's okay that the man isn't there. But the child, whether it's a boy or girl, they always need the man, because he sets the discipline and the mom positive reinforce. The mom can't be the disciplinarian and the positive reinforcement and the best friend and the provider and the cook and the babysitter and her own boyfriend at the same time and think that the kids are going to get the attention that they need. They might get the materials, they might get the J's, they might get the private school, they might get insurance for braces or glasses, but they're not getting love because their parents aren't in love. Their parents.
So I think that's a very good point. But could you have what you just described without being married? Like, what if both parents lived in the house and still provided all of those things that you said?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Without
I've seen
being
it.
legal, like the legalization of marriage, is that necessary to do what
I think the legalization of marriage isn't necessary when it comes to love, because there's only one love, and it's been there since before marriage even existed. And we used to be in a matriarchal society where the children got the mom's last name in old world, and that was because
not in America, but
in the old world. We're in the new world, but the old world was a matriarchal society where the woman kind of like controlled the you know, the rearing of the child in a way. It's like, you know who the mom is, but you
always
don't know who the dad is all the
always know
time.
who the mom
So
is.
women could have, just being honest, every man came from a woman. So in essence, you can never be without us. In essence, we can never be without you because we create you. So that balance has to be there, and you have to be there. My fiance currently, he has a beautiful 10-year-old son, and I have met his ex-wife, and her and I are on the same page because he is most important. We could probably all live in the same house and be great friends and it not be anything sexual and not be anything weird.
Very interesting.
We could all
You're
support
talking about your
him.
co-op
Yeah, because
situation.
we are here team him. It's team him, opposed to, oh, well, this document here, that really doesn't mean anything when it's his success or his academic success, his personal growth, him just being a good human being. That's really what both parents need to be present for. That time to see them grow into that great person, and then that time to appreciate them being that great person, because it's like that's your reward for being a great parent anyway, having great kids.
So let me get us back on track. So what we're talking about is black men and the desire for marriage. And what I want to know is, are black men still desiring marriage today the same way they were 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago? Is it the same?
No.
Your answer.
Yeah.
You think they are?
Oh, yeah.
How can
you
you
think-
answer that and you're not a man? Like, how can you say
Oh,
that
yeah.
in the perspective? Like, I can't. I feel like it's certain things that we both can't answer from each party, because we got our friends, our uncles, our granddads, and they tell you stories. They tell you what's going on in regards to marriage, and then how can you really relate? That's one of those
Because
things.
Because you're not a man.
Because everything is sex, you can't even be here without a marriage. A legal marriage and a marriage in life is that thing,
you
and,
can be here without marriage.
Yeah.
You can. People have sex and have
Yeah.
sex
Yeah,
every
but your
day.
soul gets married as soon as you
Oh, you're
insert.
talking about
Oh,
spiritually married.
I'm
Okay, I'm not talking about
I'm talking about real marriage. All men desire real marriage, but that fake marriage is what drive y'all up the wall. Is what make us feel like we expect you to do this with the ring, all the beer stuff. That's
Okay,
No,
so
but
That's
hold on,
like,
wait,
oh.
but
what
wait.
marriage you're talking about?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'm,
this is
I'm
a different
confused.
level. This is
you
a different
can
level
be here.
of-
There are everybody
Exactly.
who's here was not here through marriage.
Exactly.
right.
So you can totally be here without marriage.
But you can't be here without actual marriage. You can be here without fake marriage, but you can't
I don't
be
know what
here
you mean by
Are you
because
are you
you're
saying in
you're
union?
like even
You're talking about sex?
even to get
Yeah.
pregnant, the cells have to be drawn to you.
I mean,
Does that
you-
make sense?
Yeah, no, I think
'Cause you
you're on
can't
another
get-
level. But
Yes.
what
Yeah.
I'm talking about just regular walking down the aisle saying I do. That's what I'm talking about.
Do
when I say
they do they want that? I think they would want it without the headache.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's dig into that. Marriage without the headache. What is the headache? What does that mean?
Right. They don't know themselves, and then they blame that person for their shortcomings when it's all personal, when it's all internal, and then they dump their load on you, and you become responsible for it because now this person is your reflection in public, your reflection in personal. You can't take her to the business dinner; she gonna act up. Oh, you can't take him over there; he don't look proper. Oh, he ain't got no job; you can't take him around mama. Oh, my grandma gonna kill me. He done got fired again. God. It's just the little teeny things I think that revolve around money in marriage that make men just kind of like.
Well, what's your perspective?
My perspective is it all goes back to having the right person. Like you can be with someone for a long period of time and they're like, okay, look, we can go get married. But I think now men are pressured, like, okay, women get a certain age, time start, biological clock starts ticking, like, okay,
Yes.
it's time to get married. But we don't want to feel rushed. I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's the headache, is feeling rushed, because this is the rest of our lives. We're used to being, seeing on TV, our uncles or dads or people having multiple women, and then now we're like, okay, I gotta have this one woman.
the rest of my life.
So I gotta
I
make sure
see.
this one woman is all I need for the rest of my time here on Earth. That's a really big thing. That's a big step to
So
say.
commitment.
Yeah.
Right.
Men look outside for the perfect woman, but do nothing to perfect themselves. So you are what you attract. Basically, if you attract a woman who wants a commitment in her life, then you have to look at what's inside yourself that you're attracting that type of woman.
But what I think what he's saying is it's the idea of letting go all of these women, all these people that you've been with, to commit into one person for the rest of your life. That's what I heard you say.
Yeah, so that's like basically the concept. But that's why people would have a hard time committing to want to get into marriage, because of that could be a factor. That's from my perspective. Everybody has a different opinion.
So from your perspective, the biggest thing is the fear of committing yourself to this one person, and then what?
And it
Be the
doesn't
wrong-
work out.
be the
You
wrong-
know,
be the wrong person?
Who wants to, be in a situation where they feel like they can't get out of, like they feel like now that they got
Trapped.
married, that who's this woman? Like, where did I get you from? Like,
and
it's
you know
like,
what the thing is? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like for you, if you get married now, mid-20s, you are so not gonna be the same person at 35. Like when I look back
know
at
that.
who I was at 25, I'm like, I can't even recognize that girl.
You're not supposed to be
You,
the same person.
but the thing is, when you get married to somebody and you grow, you might totally grow apart, which is why we see so many divorces. People say, by the time they're 35, 40, they look and go, I don't even love you anymore. Like, I'm on this path, and when I got married, I was on this path, and you still on this path, and now I'm on this path.
I have met situations and people like that, and with them being honest, like you just gave in that example, that was how they grew together after that. That's how they figured out what was the issue. Like, babe, I love you so much that you're so worth me hearing you out right now. Let me see what it is that I can possibly take responsibility on and try to compromise, meet you halfway. Because our goals together and the life we plan together, sometimes you really got to outweigh that reaction for the moment and be like, dang, this person would do the same for me. And I've been down in situations, and this person has also shown me things, taught me things, grow with this person. You can be friends.
Let me get you to chime in because you've been quiet for a minute.
Well, there's a lot that's going on in these conversations that I think, to answer your question about are men still as desiring marriage as before, that we need to strip out, first of all.
Like what?
Like, we've touched on a lot of them, and it's all in the gumbo. And, like, we wondering why it tastes like the way it tastes. First of all, he talks about comparing, hearing what we hear from our fathers, our uncles, and looking back in the past and how we romanticize marriage. First of all, like you said, marriage was a necessity for a large part of the way society was set up.
It was.
So people got married young because of economics and society.
Yep.
That doesn't necessarily mean
Society.
they were desiring marriage any differently than we were. It was this, and we look at how grandma and grandpa, uncle and auntie stayed together for 35, 40 years, but we don't talk about how grandpa and uncle had two other families on the other side of the town.
Which that happen
That's
often.
just true.
And to your point, too, it was wrong to have a child out of wedlock. So a lot of these marriages were shotgun marriages. People got married because they were pregnant. That happened a lot.
That's called a shotgun. Okay.
Where I'm pregnant, it was the right thing to do, quote unquote, to get married. That's not the same today.
We don't have those pressures. We don't have social media, but I know for a fact a lot of marriages were kept up on appearances where we thought they had the perfect marriages. I have aunties
A lot of them.
and family like that now, where I'm just finding out some stuff now, and I'm like, really, auntie?
Yeah.
And I'm finding other stuff about my new uncles and aunties or whatever. We don't necessarily have those.
The
So
truth.
we don't have the truth. We also grew up where divorce started to increase, and like
Yeah.
you said, we were in those families.
Yep.
So now we're jaded about marriage.
A lot of people are jaded about marriage. Let's talk about that. The divorce rate is 60%. I mean, it's over half. And in second marriages is even higher. So most of us know a lot of people who've been divorced. Most of us, right? We all know lots of people who've been divorced. So it's also the thought of, if I do this, what you were talking about, this fear of committing to this person, it's a high percentage that it's not going to work. I mean, think about it. Have you done anything that you knew it was more than a 50%? Would you go to the doctor, and the doctor says, I want to give you this pill, but it's a 60% chance it's not going to work. Would you take that
It
pill?
depends on what I got. If I got cancer,
Exactly.
give it to me.
Okay, so it's cancer. I'm gonna do this surgery. It's a 60% chance that when I do this surgery, you won't be able to walk. Would you do that surgery?
That's a downfall risk. I think marriage is more so of an upside possibility. So you need to look at it as, I'm going to do this procedure, and it's a 40% chance that it's going to benefit your life. What I do?
So you look at the other side, the
Correct.
40%.
Like, because marriage should benefit you.
I don't know, and that's another thing. I don't know that people leave feeling benefited, so to speak, because financially, when people get divorced, you split everything up. So everything that you built together, you now split, and people are often left in debt, credit jacked up, having to start over. If one person was the breadwinner and you were at home, now you got to get back in the workforce. I mean, there's a lot of changes that take place when people get divorced.
But that's also, but it's
Well,
a reality.
it's easy to say don't fear it, but it's a 60% chance
When you hear
that that's
those-
going
when
to
you
be
hear
the
those-
case.
No, like nothing really lasts forever. I was saying.
Y'all can switch out there. Introduce yourself.
I'm Royal the artist. I'm here from Houston by way of Louisiana, and I'm a national award-winning poet.
Well, welcome.
The actress, whatnot, all. But yeah, you can't really look at it like that's something to fear. Like love is supposed to conquer every. And if love is fearful, you know what I'm saying? If it's true, you're gonna be afraid of it. So you shouldn't look at, oh, I'm not gonna get married because it might not work out, or I might get a divorce. If you go in thinking that, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Your thoughts become things. You're gonna manifest what you want. So if you want a perfect marriage, or your ideal was perfect, then you think that you become that person that you want to marry. It's just that simple, you know.
So your mind, it just shouldn't be a fear. So you just said it's a fear, like I might marry this person and it doesn't work out.
I was giving a perspective, like from a opinion standpoint, from like why would you think a man don't want to get married? That could be a perspective of because of they don't know what's on the other end. You know, I'm not saying me particularly for me. I'm speaking in general population when I talk to people about marriage. You know,
a lot of people have this fear. And I would say the fear is not unfounded. And the reason I say it's not unfounded is because the numbers show that it's a real thing. I mean, more than half the people walking down the aisle, they don't make it. So, you know what I mean? So that's a real, to me, if I look at, if somebody was presenting me something that was a risk of a 60% failure risk, I probably wouldn't do it. That's just me looking at just strictly numbers.
But you know, yeah, those numbers are set up to fear, to instill fear. You know,
I don't know.
I
don't think it's set up to instill fear. It's just reality. That's
well,
all I
mean,
look at it.
But you look at it, but the number one reason why people get divorced is because of finances. So we can't just look at
finances
one part
and
of the
sex.
problem. Yeah, those
Finances
two
and
things.
sex.
And the thing with sex is people marry people that's outside their freak level. Like my thing
let's
is match
talk about that.
somebody,
Let's
match
talk about
somebody that is, get with somebody that is not gonna out freak you, because that's the problem with a lot of straight women. They afraid to try new things and try different things, and then fellas is going outside the house looking for that.
So let's talk about that, because I think that's good. Sexual compatibility.
Ooh,
and here's what I'll say,
Get it
because
together,
I know a lot of
ladies.
brothers who want to marry these wholesome girls, right? And they have desires, or let's say you would play a player and you doing all these things, but you want to marry the girl who's virginal,
the
church mouse, and she's not going to do all these things that you are accustomed to doing.
because she a good Christian.
And then
girl.
they start tipping out because they start missing those
You don't know
things.
the right Bible verses to go show it when you supposed to.
No.
You supposed to show the verse?
Ezekiel 14.
No.
Say, thou shalt spread them trees.
that's crazy.
You got to do your Bible study.
Yes.
So what happens? So do you think that people marry? Do you think people think about sexual compatibility
No, they
when
don't.
they think about
No,
marriage?
They don't. They don't have a
don't.
conversation about sex.
Well,
Didn't
that-
Salt-N-Pepa say let's talk about sex?
Yeah.
They try to tell us them. People do not have
They
conversation
don't.
about sex.
But it's finances and sex are the top two things. So that means sex is important, and that means it
Yes.
needs to be discussed.
Yes.
So you need to marry somebody who's on your freak level,
right,
like you said.
on your freak level.
Well, I mean, even in dating, like we go around, we tiptoe around these topics
Subjects,
because
right.
we're afraid to open up. I mean, it's just it's that gumbo
Being
again.
vulnerable,
Is
yeah,
it being
that-
vulnerable? Is it being honest? You feel like you got to get married to make mama happy, give her some grandkids or whatever, and in the meantime, no one's there in the house. The finances going wrong,
Right.
Sex ain't popping. You got 30 years was a long time,
Right.
and you got to keep that thing fresh.
Right.
Not only that, even in marriage, when you talk about finances and sex and kids, which is the things that are the downfalls of marriages, we need to have a conversation. Maybe we need to retool
Definitely.
the different currencies that are involved in a relationship, and it's not always financial.
When
Exactly.
you say currencies, what do you mean?
In emotional currency,
Spiritual.
we may look at a person, is financial, he's financially stable, or she looks good, or he looks good, blah blah blah, whatever it is. on paper or whatever, but what about compatibility, communication, intimacy, care?
Right.
Those are all currencies.
That just goes back to what you're saying, like marrying the right person. Like you have to really know who you're marrying. A lot of these people getting married 6 months in, 12 months in, a year in. How do you really know this person after a year?
But about that, what's more important than that, than knowing the other person? I think someone mentioned it. You got to know yourself. And you got to know yourself enough to know not to get married just because society said you're supposed to get married by this age or not.
And that's why I'm really against people getting married so young. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like me personally, I'm gonna speak for Shay, the first time I got engaged I was 20. That was not the right time for me to get married because I didn't know myself. Who do you want to be? Who are you? Right. How do you work in this situation? How do you react in that situation? I hadn't figured that out. Finances, no. I didn't know how to take care of a house. A lot of things that make you a woman, that makes me a grown woman, that I can bring to the table today, I couldn't bring to the table then. And a lot of times, and I know that's what our parents did. They got married right out of high school, right out of college. But I really feel like you need that time to know yourself, to understand how you maneuver in various situations.
I would say this, like, you know, a lot of people think because I'm a lesbian I hate men. No, I just hate weak ass men. You know, because
you didn't. So you just dropped that in there that you were a lesbian. You didn't tell us that before.
Oh well, I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm dropping in that. But I mean, I'm around a lot of men, and
hold on, we have a call. Lord have mercy. Hey, caller, welcome to Conversations with Cupid.
Hey.
Hey.
It's Dante.
Hey, Dante, how you doing?
What's up, everybody in the studio?
Hey.
What's up?
What are your thoughts on marriage, black men and?
You know I got some thoughts.
Okay.
Men don't want to be married no more because women don't want to be married anymore. If we met a woman that really wanted to be married, now I didn't get married young, but it did not work because she never wanted to be married. How do I know that? Because she told me.
She didn't want to get married.
No, she never wanted to be married. She told me she got caught up in the whole picking out a dress and the invitations and decorations and the whole.
She got caught up in the wedding versus marriage.
Yeah.
And I've talked to a lot of women that get caught up in that, and a lot of women tend to live their life for other people. So it's all about the perception of who you are and what it is. Because the reason people don't want to be married today is because they see so many marriages not work. Growing up for me, if you were to tell me two people that were rich couldn't be married or couldn't stay married, it didn't make no sense to me because it seems like that's the biggest issue with people getting married is finance. So how two people that's rich can't be married? Because they don't want to be.
So you're saying people don't want to be married today?
No, people don't want to be married. I've been listening for a while, and you know what I'm saying, I just go back to, like you said, to what it is, walking down the aisle, I do this, that, and other. See, a lot of people don't get married. A lot of people get married in the church, but don't get married for biblical reasons.
They get married in the church, but not for biblical reasons.
Right. Because, you know what I'm saying, trying not to get too intricate with it, but I understood what she was saying on a more spiritual level. In the Bible, when it says to know someone, it means that's when it meant to have sex with someone, to know someone.
Actually, the term washing feet is having sex.
People don't know that.
They don't know about that. They misinterpret the Bible all the time. You don't know what it means. Washing feet in the Bible means.
And who was washing feet on
Jesus.
Y'all gonna have the church folks get mad at me. So hold on.
Hey, we telling the truth.
Hold up for a second. I'm listening. Go ahead. I'm listening.
But a lot of things like that was explained to me by a clergy before I got married. Just so happened to be my wife's uncle was the clergy that explained to me all of this stuff. Then the most ironic thing he said was he asked us both before marriage, what's the most important part of marriage? And of course we said love and trust and this and that.
What people want to hear.
And our tracks said no, it's sex. So But y'all was just touching on sexual compatibility and this and other. And, you know what I'm saying, all of that's real. But see, the thing is, when you don't, and, you know, what one of the gentlemen was saying, if you don't know yourself, you don't know what you're going to be compatible with. We grow up seeing certain things, and we think that's what we like all our life until we actually try it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's truth right there.
You know,
I mean,
right now,
but do you want to be married?
Living in a day and age where just being married to somebody ain't, for the most part, ain't even feasible.
Okay, but Dante, do you want to be married right now?
Right? What you mean right now?
I mean, do you desire marriage?
Well, see, because I've been married, I know there are perks to sharing your life.
What's the perks? So let's talk about the perks of marriage. What are the perks to being married?
The perks of being married is companionship. Is actual, well, it's supposed to be actual true love. That's the actual perk of marriage, because a lot of places you won't find that in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's all about just sharing life. A lot of people grew up, you know, the only child, and they call the closest person to them their brother and sister because they long for that companionship that they don't have. So when you're married and you have that companionship, you never have to look for anything, no matter what you was going through. I couldn't make my show today, but the show was supposed to be about the struggle. And I can talk about times where when I was married, me and my wife went through the struggle.
That's a real marriage right
when
there.
we was going through it with somebody.
Yes.
None of that means anything. You can look on that later on in life and laugh about it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing your viewpoint with us, Mr. Dante.
Yeah, I'm just watching.
I appreciate you.
Because I called back.
All right. And you know what? I see, Michael, you said you disagree with a lot of these viewpoints. Feel free to call in 478-569-6474. Any of you that want to chime in, feel free to call 478-569-6474. You have a mic?
I feel hasn't been reached yet.
Okay. Share your viewpoint. Introduce yourself and share your viewpoint.
Bars Brown, producer, artist for the show. But one viewpoint I feel hasn't been touched, and I see a lot of the comments, you know, they speaking that, you know, a lot of women are jumping in and they don't hear from the men point. So as a young man, I feel like one thing that hasn't been touched is marriage in itself is what? A union. That's something that we speak of, is being together. And, you know, one thing that I feel is if you're going to be together, you're going to be together. If you want to be together, you're going to be together. And one thing I've mentioned before is once you get into marriage as it stands for, and we as we understand it today, it's a legal document.
Thank you. It is a transaction.
So once you fill out the document to be able to do that, it gives you an ability to say it's over. It gives a finality to the situation. I feel as though like a lot of times when you're together, you know, especially being in black households, we're familiar with dating for 20, 30 years, you know.
But what's wrong with that?
Nothing. You know, I feel like there's nothing wrong with that, because I feel like if you're that's the most genuine, because I don't have nothing saying I'm
Nothing to
supposed
make
to be
you
here.
stay, yes.
I'm here because I want to be here.
Right.
And if I go sign this document, the moment I get mad at you, I got this don't make me sign this document. And I feel like at that point, if you go through if you go through all the drama to sign this document and then can, you know, go to court and annul it and then go and take half the stuff and fight about it, then, you know, after that, it's over. It's really over after that.
I hear you. All right. We have another caller coming in. Hey, welcome to Conversations with Cupid.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Good. Who's calling?
This is Sean. Who's it? Is this Shay?
Yeah, this is Shay. Hey, Sean.
What's going on? Look, I was trying to get down there for the show, and I'm running behind. It's traffic. All this Florida traffic is backed up.
Yeah, well, come on. You can come on. So you want to weigh in on black men and the desire for marriage?
No, of course. That's why I called in. Of course. Let me tell you. You know what? Two factors, real quick. Two factors. That's the reason why. One, I know I'm ready for marriage, but let me tell you why.
Tell us your age and what's your age and profession, Sean?
I'm 37 and I'm in wireless sales.
All right, and you've never been married?
I've never been married.
Okay.
And I know it took me to get out of my 20s to realize I wanted to be married as a first and foremost. I took some time. I've always been the relationship type.
Yeah.
I've had a couple of serious relationships, and I've had a couple of great women. The problem was it just wasn't the right time.
Okay.
So I couldn't be the man to blame everybody for my problems or to say that women ain't ish or this and that or blah, blah, blah. You know, I took time to make myself get to know myself. So I think that black men 100% desire to be married when it's the right time. It's just a matter of them finding themselves before they're 50 or 45 years old in the club with a Bluetooth on.
You know, and I want to speak to that because I'm going to tell you, my male clients who are in their 40s, as y'all know, I'm a matchmaker, so people pay me to help them find their husbands and wives. My male clients in their 40s are ready to get married today. Like, give me, this is what I want. Shay, if she fit this prescription, I want her. We can get married today.
Take care of
That's what they want. My men in their 30s are kind of like, you know what? I got so many options. I mean, I got like pick of the litter women. I don't hear the pressure from them to say I want to get married. But my ladies in their 30s who become clients, this is where it gets a little touchy. My ladies in their 30s who are clients are like ready, like their clock is ticking. I'm 35. I got to have this baby. I got to get married. But the brothers aren't on that same page necessarily, like in your age range, Sean. So I end up having to match them with brothers in their 40s because they tend to be, they've done all that. They've gone through their whole phase and they're now ready to be married. Do you think that all men need to go through a whole phase?
40 years
Yeah, women do too.
Years old, and waiting to get married is,
We all need a whole phase.
Wait, I didn't hear
that's
you.
a long time to wait.
Say it again, Sean.
I think the problem is that it's hard to date in Atlanta. Living in Atlanta, it's hard to date. Because you do have options. I'm not going to lie to you. You do have a lot of options, especially being a heterosexual male. You do have options. You know what I'm saying? Like, but everything, I learned a long time ago that everything that glitter ain't gold. You know, and I think it's a level of maturity that some men need to levitate to. Because, you know, we do find ourselves chasing, and then we realize, oh, you know, we're alone, for real.
Yep.
But black men desire family. Black men desire that. But I'm gonna tell them, give one tip though: stop listening to this new R&B music because this new R&B music.
Oh, it's crap, yo. And I said that today. Somebody asked yesterday. What do I feel is contributing to this decline, this shift? But, you know, like you brought up, the Temptations and, you know, Marvin Gaye. I mean, they were singing about wooing women.
Loving.
And going after who they wanted. They weren't going to stop until she said yes. And that's the kind of music that our parents grew up listening to.
That's called thirsty. Yeah.
Even our 90s R&B. Our 90s
That's
R&B.
gone.
Was,
90s
you got
R&B is
Keith
definitely
Sweat,
gone.
you got Jodeci, you had them crying after women that they love and saying, you know, confessing their love, professing their
But
love.
the women didn't want those kind of men, though. When
Yes,
they were
they
presenting,
did.
no, they
Yes,
did.
they did.
No,
Yo,
they
we
did.
always like
Because
those women.
The
Wait.
era, can I cuss?
No.
Oh.
So,
y'all gotta let me know.
Let's go back.
You know, I'm a poet.
Mike said, you know, so we're blaming music, but you can't really blame
They are an
music because
yes.
every day, what do you do when you wake up? You listen to music. What are you doing at home? You listen to music. So right now, what is music telling us? Have sex, have sex, have sex, have sex, have multiple women. I would have never known to have multiple women if it wasn't on TV. Like I grew up, my dad, single parent, had me young age. Two Loud Crew.
You were raised by your dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
raised by a single father. So he listens to Two Loud Crew. So what is that message? So as a kid, what am I doing? Subconsciously, I'm going on like that with him. So in my mind, I'm thinking it's okay to have multiple women when it's really not, you know. And
I wanna say, I mean, Mike, it's probably. Hold on, we got a caller, but let's hold on that one because I want to. What's that? I want to say that music is a big influencer in a lot of black households, and this might be different for you, Mike, but for a lot of black people, the radio is on in the house, in the car,
all day.
and they're constantly hearing these songs, and these songs are programmed in your spirit and your subconscious.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just doing something, you can pop up a song immediately because it's ingrained in you. I remember waking up Saturday morning, the radio is playing, and I heard these songs as I'm doing my chores. Like, it's ingrained in us. I don't know that that's the case in other races. I can only speak for my own. Like, it's a
Exactly.
big influencer.
music is everything to the black black culture, and
how we communicate.
It is
that's
how
exactly.
we communicate. We communicate in song.
Not
It's a
only
big
is
deal.
the music influencing us, but you got to think, like, they're coming from our community too, so this is what they're experiencing. So Chris Brown, when he writes the song about this, that, or the third, that's kind of what's going on, and then it spreads out.
It does.
Until
Exactly.
we change the energy.
It
'Cause
is a
Exactly.
big influencer.
Music is
It's
energy.
the energy
And
thing.
also TV. So when you think about what we grew up seeing, okay, and you're
programming.
about 10 years younger than us, but seriously, I saw the Cosby Show. I saw Family Matters. I mean, I had so many shows on with black families.
In a
right?
positive light.
In a positive light. Professionals.
But what have we
who are
done to all of
successful.
this?
It's crap now.
we
You
don't
said
support
love
it.
and hip
But
hop
yeah,
now.
but when you go outside
not
the
on.
home,
That's what people want to watch.
No, it's not on. Like there's Blackish.
Blackish is
What else?
definitely a great show.
I don't know what else is
It
on.
used to be T.I. and the Family Hustle, but we know what's
They-
Oh,
they're
we're not gonna talk
positive.
about the Family
But
Hustle
what
out
I'm
here,
saying is
T.I.
it's not on television. So what's on television is this love and hip hop era. It's
They
this
got
cussing and
they got a side chick show out here coming
that's
out.
what's
You know,
on. So it's influencing our kids. I mean, you think about if you don't think that the media influences us, let me tell you how many of us went to HBCUs because of a different world. It's a huge
Exactly.
influencer.
You can prove that media influence us by just looking at Fifth Avenue. They spend billions of look at the advertising
billions
industry.
in advertisement.
Lexus will spend billions of dollars to make a commercial because it will make people buy another $40,000 car.
It's absolutely true.
Exactly, it's programming.
It
It's
is
what it's called.
programming.
It's television programming.
It
So
does
it's what it
program.
does is tell you a vision, what you think you want. J. Cole, you think about the conscious artist. They talk about every day. You know, like the grass ain't always greener, and you gotta love yours. You know, it's really hard, you know, when you out there portraying, because everybody wants to portray a different life than what they are. Social media is the prime example.
Yeah.
Everybody think they got the cars,
When
they
they
got
Facebook
the money,
run Instagram
you know.
imaginations, but it's true. So the media does play a huge role in our family dynamics and our desires today. So we do see a lot of women who are, I guess, pseudo successful and they don't have a man. That's an image that you constantly see.
But just to piggyback off that, I think a lot of women who are very successful, you know, they try to use that success over their man. You know, like if they're making more than their man or they're doing something better than their man, they put that over him. No man wants that to feel like that.
Right.
I don't have to be 30. I don't have to be 40, 50 to know when I get that age I want a woman or my significant other to make me feel like that. That's
Right.
not about that's not what you envision a marriage or a union
Absolutely.
to be.
And you know, that's something I would like for the television to show. This is why all of you, if you've gone to college or if you haven't gone to college, you know that there are more black women in college than any other demographic. Not white women, not Asian women. There's more black women with college degrees than any other race or
And
demographic.
more black women
Most
who own their own
educated.
businesses.
Most
Yes.
educated.
Most educated
We are the
demographic.
most educated. So what happens is that means that these jobs that are available in corporate America, they're going to those women. So that means that 9 times out of 10, these brothers are marrying women who are successful, sometimes more successful, sometimes making more money than them. That's going to be our new reality.
But a lot of men have a problem with that. And that's where
women
they need
too.
to check. Yeah, they do. But I see a lot of fellas, they feel insecure. And then we have this era of hypermasculinity. Whereas, like, I'm not man enough. Because he hears it from many women. There's some women out there that beat men down and break men down,
They
too.
do.
I get that. But at the same time, brothers, they need to know themselves.
This is what
and they
I'm
need
trying
to
to
know how
say.
to check themselves.
But this is what I'm trying to say. For example, because we've not seen it, this didn't happen with our parents. This is new for us, for our generation. This phenomenon of women being more successful.
Fear.
This is new. We don't know how to navigate. I know even in my dad was like, wait a minute. Wait, so you don't cook? I'm like, no. You don't clean? No. And he was like, no, that ain't right. No, you don't tell me.
What's right for
How to
me,
run
right?
my
I don't think it's
household.
new. I think
It's
it's just more
I just-
visible. It's just
different.
more visible. I don't think it's new. It's all, you've always had women in every era who didn't give a damn, who
Men
did
are-
what they had to
men
do.
are
It wasn't the
insecure.
majority.
No, I mean, whether it was the majority
I
or the
feel like-
minority, it wasn't visible back then. You didn't see women in powers of
Some of
position.
these comments.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's read
It's
some of
crazy.
the
Yeah.
comments.
It said men are insecure.
A
Oh,
lot of men are.
But
I
my
wanna say
point.
that it's men are insecure, but women are also ill-equipped to handle it. It's two things. So
Right.
you might be insecure
Right.
with my money, but then I need to be equipped to know that my money doesn't make me bigger than you, doesn't make me more important than you.
And that's the message, right? That's what I'm trying to elaborate. That it's not more of a thing that a man is scared. It's just it's more of a situation where he wants to be equal. You know, like if you better, equality. like basically,
I'm
if you
sorry, a man want to feel equal to a woman.
Look, I don't want to interject.
Come on,
listen, hear me
that's
out.
That's insecurity to the max,
I can't get my comment out. So basically, what I'm saying is, you made me forget what I was about to say. I had it out my head. I was like, we get interjected.
Equality.
No, so what I was about to say was, in regards to equality, if you're better than money, if we get married, if you're better than money, I'm gonna let you hold the money. Like that's basically what you do. I feel like everybody has it's strength. You know, everybody has different strengths in a relationship. That's what I'm saying. It's the way it should be. Is we cater to each other's strengths, not who makes more money, who does X, Y, and Z, who wears the pants.
Absolutely, but that hasn't been modeled, and that's what I'm saying. So we're coming from these traditional values of the man does this, the woman does that, to what you just described. Who's better at this?
Exactly.
Who's better at that?
Or who is supposed to do it. So there's a shift between what it used to be. So men are feeling like women are holding this above them.
I make more money than you.
But we also got to remember, traditionally, men used to hold their penis and their status
And
in society over women as well.
Exactly.
Yes, they did.
So I mean,
it's the shift and change.
It
It's
needs
just
to
the
be like
shift.
this.
But that's what I'm saying. What we don't have is an example of that
Right.
on TV today. We don't have an example of a woman who, let's say she's a surgeon, and her husband, I mean, I'm sure we've had these shows. I think about Rock, and she was a nurse. The wife was a nurse, and Rock was a garbage collector. We've had something. That was,
And
know,
Rock
me
was
growing
still,
up.
and Rock was still a
the
man.
He was the man.
And you don't
And
need
she
your
allowed
woman.
it.
You
She
don't,
allowed it, though. She allowed him to be a man.
Yeah.
The man in the house.
And a
She
man-
didn't emasculate him ever.
No, not at all.
Yeah, you gotta let the man be a man. Now, everyone always brings up Oprah and Stedman. I love this. There was a time because everyone thinks like Oprah and Stedman is just whatever. There was one time Oprah loved her dogs. She was out looking for puppies, and they had like this kennel. She wanted all. She was like, "Oh, I love them. I want all the puppies." Stedman was standing there and was like, "You can get one." She was like, "Oh, but I want them all." He said, "One." She was like, "Oh, okay." Oprah is a billionaire. But he was securing himself like this is how their relationship works.
And that's how
and
it
it's
should
not
be.
based on the money.
And that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, we as women haven't been equipped to, okay, sis, you make more than this brother. Okay, you're more successful than him. This is how you operate.
Successful.
All
That's
right.
why I said
Financially successful.
So I said our value system
It
creates money
It's crazy.
to a lot of
So
stuff.
success,
and
and
the
it's
dollar
not
can
it.
crash tomorrow. How would you be able to survive?
I got
My
Bitcoin.
point was beyond it. My point was we haven't been equipped to know how does this work. How does this dynamic work
Correct.
when you make more than this brother? How does that work? And how does he feel? How do you make him still feel
Like a man.
and not make
Exactly.
him feel emasculated?
And that change has happened very quickly.
And a lot of men, let me speak to this. What she said is intimidated. Men don't like that word, so let me say it a different way. A lot of men tie their money to their identity.
Yes.
I am how much
Right.
money is in my pocket.
Right.
And when you
A
tie
lot
your
of
money
them.
to your identity, that's when the problem
Your value, you put your own value.
$5.
Right.
Does that mean you only worth $5?
Well,
I mean,
well, that's because we equate the money to our ability to provide. So
Exactly.
the money is a medium of exchange.
Yeah, but
It
when
is
you-
the in between the man and his ability to provide, and that's based on money in a lot of circumstances in our modern
And that's the
society.
problem. Can I give you?
we tie
Let me
it
give
to
you a
it.
scenario. So you're the man, you're the protector and the provider of the family, the breadwinner. That makes you feel like I'm the man of the house because I can protect and provide my family. But say you're in a situation where you become disabled and you can't work and you can't provide financially like the way you were. You can still pick up your drawers off the floor. You can still cook. You can still clean. You can still sit down with your kids and do
And
homework. You can
influence
still
them.
you can pick up those non-traditional roles.
Correct.
Even when you're in that situation where you in between jobs or you didn't get that promotion, but you see your wife excelling. When you're in those situations, there's still things that you can do to maybe overcompensate you not making the
The
finances.
simple answer to that question is it's man shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's the simple answer.
Yeah.
That's the simple answer to some of that question. It's a man. Let us do what we do. If a woman need to be with a woman that when he say, a woman need to be with a man that when he say, yo, maybe not shut up because that's a little aggressive. But if I say not right now,
Right.
if she say what nigga, that's not the man for her.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
True. A woman need a man. It is not at that point. It's not going to matter how much money you got in the bank. It's going to matter. Oh, I trust this person enough. That's why the balance be off. You got to have that balance as far as a man has to. You got to be the man that want to be a man. And you got to be the woman that wants you to be with more man, or the kind of man that you need.
Right.
It should be unspoken.
The reason Stephen was able to say no, I'm not that many puppies is because Stephen was a man in his relationship.
Correct.
Like I'm a man, and he may have been doing what he need to do. You
can do what you do in the billions, but I'm steady.
But I'm Stedman.
And but I'm saying, in order for Stedman or any man to be able to be strong in their masculinity, it takes her also not emasculating him. See, because listen, there are some women who will break a man all the way down.
That's not right.
That might be true. That might be true. But what I'm saying, I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is, both of them have to learn this behavior. Right. There is no one modeling that behavior. This shift that we need to be successful today. There is no one modeling, this is how you do it. This is how I, as a man, am still a man.
Well, you're not going to find it on Love and Hip Hop.
Exactly.
That's
the most popular show on TV right now, right?
But why is that? But we make it popular.
Turn it off, right? Turn it off.
Turn it off.
She turned it off, and she feel a lot better.
Yeah, but that's the problem with a lot of women. I stopped dating a young lady because she watched Love and Hip Hop and all that stuff. Because I'm like, you watch that all day long, and then when I get home, your mouth is running just like that TV show. I stopped dating someone because they watched that show. So you have to. You are what you watch. You are what you
That's
listen to.
That's what I meant to. But what I meant about social media. Media influence. We need a show that shows what. That's my whole point was. We don't have that being modeled for us.
That may be true. We may need a show, but until then, if we recognize this stuff, if you're mature enough to recognize it, you can't contextualize it to where you can watch this just entertainment, because it does leak out into it. You go out, and next thing you know, you come home, and your girl talking about you a 9-month factor. She got that. She wasn't saying that before, and but anyway. But about that, there are some times when going out on dates. Well, now we're talking about the shift between women and their ability and men.
Because the whole point of this conversation is black men desiring marriage. Let me make sure I keep the
but this is a part of that, and trying to get to marriage. Now you have situations where it's the whole. I guess this is a cliche in dating, but it kind of ties into what we're talking about.
You can take it, but hold on a second.
The whole paying for a date, or because I've been out on dates and the women will try to reach out and pay, and I gotta stop it just because, just
does it make you feel emasculated if she
pays? It wouldn't necessarily make me feel emasculated if we were in a relationship. But yeah, in the first date, like I need to
let you do that. All right, let me have a caller. Hey, caller, welcome to Conversations with Cupid.
Hey, what's up? It's Mike.
Hey, Mike.
I guess since people who aren't men and aren't black men can comment, I guess I can comment too, right? Is that what we're doing?
You can comment. Yeah. I mean, we have a young lady who's not a man on the show, and she's commenting, and that's fine.
Don't want to be a man either.
That's fine. You can contribute, Mike. Go ahead.
I'm not saying that Shorty want to be a man. Like, I'm not saying that.
No,
My
I'm just
point
thinking.
was earlier. Like I was trying to say, like, the whole conversation is derailed because it's so funny. Because if you watch these conversations, right, women are always saying, well, I want to hear men's take on this. I want to hear what men have to say. And then you have a show asking what men have to say, and then, like, immediately it was, like, hijacked. I just found that kind of a hilarious irony.
Okay, well, Mike, what's your comment on it?
Well, I mean, so there's two things. One, back to the music piece that we were talking about earlier, and I think you saw it in the comments, there was plenty of songs talking about cheating. I mean, if you look at the blues scene, like
there were.
Marvin, Betty Wright, all that stuff, they were talking about that.
And people were cheating.
Cheating in the next one.
But I'm saying people were cheating. They were just married. The songs were talking about cheating, and people were absolutely cheating. All of them were, that happened a lot in those marriages. But the songs also talked about getting married, and people were married.
Let's stay together. I'll agree.
Yeah, let's stay together.
I mean, it all depends on the type of R&B you listen to, right? Because, I mean, I can go through a whole list of people who's making quality R&B music. It's just where you listen to it at.
Right.
The biggest thing is I think it's unfair to make the media a scapegoat. Because at the end of the day, we talk about men needing to be leaders, men needing to step up, men needing to do this, that, and the other. And if I'm sitting here and I'm basing
and I'm making excuses for what I'm not doing based on what I see on TV, based on what I hear in the media, based on what other women are doing, I'm not being the quote-unquote man that I need to be. At the end of the day, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let pawn off my responsibilities onto something else. If you don't want to get married, it's a direct reflection of your own experiences, and if you let the media shape that, that's just a sign of a weak person at the day.
Yes. No, listen, I don't feel like I'm not one of these people who watches these shows, Love and Hip Hop and all that. So it's not necessarily influencing me, but I know that it influences a lot of people, and I have to say that it is influencing a lot of people. So when you have someone, I don't know the rapper's name, but he's singing "Never Chase a Chick," a lot of men that's their thought and you see these memes like "I'll never chase a woman" or that's the thought. So when women say men are not pursuing us, a lot of times people don't read the dictionary, but pursue and chase means the same thing. So if I'm singing "I won't chase a chick," right, or whatever the song is, you know what I'm talking about. If I'm singing that, and then I'm a woman and you like me, and I say, I don't know, and then you go, okay, well, I'm not gonna chase you, I'm not gonna pursue you. Then that's a shift. You're not pursuing. Where back in the day, those men would have pursued me.
But I mean,
you still have to be worth the chase.
It's back on a perception.
You still have to be worth the chase.
I mean, Tupac was singing that, Biggie was singing that, Junior Mafia was singing that, Mobb Deep was saying that. Like, those songs were all throughout time saying that.
It's so different, Mike. Because when I grew up with Biggie still got married. I'm missing something. The music I grew up with in the 90s, Biggie still got married. So yeah, Faith cheated on him, whoop, whoop, but he still got married, and so it was still. He brought up Biggie, so I'm just responding to that. I'm just saying.
But all of them married.
Divorced. What's his face? Wiz Khalifa was married to, or was engaged to. I mean, a lot of these dudes is married. It has nothing to do with anything. Right. Killer Mike is an extremely popular rapper, and he's married, and he talks about his wife on songs. So
I don't know that Killer Mike is popular today. Isn't he like old school? Like, I'm sorry. I'm talking about these people. I'm talking about people that they're listening to today, like Future and 21 Savage and these people.
That was 10 years younger than
Lil Uzi Vert or whatever.
Yeah,
they listen to. Okay, we have another call. No, caller gone. Okay, so what I'm saying, Mike, it's not that it's an influence on you or me. I'm talking about these people that are coming up today, the people in their 20s. They are listening to these songs.
It's called cultural awareness.
I'm not talking about you and me. I'm talking about this generation that's coming up. They're listening to these people. They're not singing about, go after the one you love and make it work and stay together. They're not rapping about that.
But I don't see 25 women complaining about men not wanting to care. Women in their 30s complaining about men in their 30s. So I don't think that's right.
All right. Well, that's your point. Valid point. I disagree because I know that people are heavily influenced. Not me, not you, but there are people. This is what they do.
But since we're talking about music and everything, let's break it down. Let's be true as well. When we were coming up, we were in our 20s listening to music. When Uzi Vert and them, they gonna be rapping about the same. Biggie was not no moral arbiter of whatever. So you listen to Jay-Z now,
his rap has evolved as he has evolved.
As we have.
Yes.
And he's more representative of how our mindset have shifted.
Today, as a grown man.
Jay-Z
is rapping grown today.
Jay-Z, LL Cool J, other such
but
artists.
all those cats
like
are married. And they've been married.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
married.
What I'm saying is, not that it's influencing us in our 30s.
Correct.
We're not being influenced by rap, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about his generation. His generation is being influenced by these songs.
So
and what they see on TV.
Why isn't the generation beforehand? I was saying, be the generation
I grew up with Too
that you
Short.
want to see the change.
Can we not?
Me too.
You are a little boy with Too Short.
Oh,
Right.
So
praise. Too Short is still got
it.
Come on.
These rappers is 30 plus.
Thank you.
But not even that. I was 8 years old the first time
lot
I
of
watched the
them are
Mac.
30 plus.
Everybody knows Max Julian. So that era, I was watching that pimping stuff growing up.
Yeah,
but
that came out in the 70s.
Mac.
American
That's
Pimp.
Mac. That ain't pimping, that's Mac.
When that dropped,
Dolomite. I mean,
The
we
Mac.
all watched that
The Mac.
Shaft. I love women because I was watching Shaft.
Okay,
You know
well,
what I'm
explain
saying?
that. black exploitation. That was in the 70s, and most of us.
But we was loving ourselves. Though.
That was before our time. Like that's something we saw reruns.
That's
of.
the influences. We can still go back to that time and draw influences.
And they did influence us. What I'm telling you is our daddies did have women on the other side of town they was creeping with.
But where's the love though? You look at look at the era of the 70s before my generation, and I saw a lot of love going on in the 70s.
Not to interject or anything, not even put a music perspective, but women back in the day were more approachable. That's the question today: is the women today approachable? I don't think they are because they're so materialistic. What are you driving? What do you have on? Like sometimes, like a man can be like, hey, hey, how you doing? I'm riding so and so, and she'll look at you like you crazy. That rejection in the mind of a man is deep.
Now, I'm gonna say that is. Let me tell you how that's a music influence. Because when I grew up,
music
let me tell you. When I grew up, all the rappers, the Biggie, the Puffy, they were rapping about the cars they had and how they icing their woman's wrists and buying her this and taking her on trips. That's what I grew up with. So there are women who feel like that's what a man should do for them. There are women
on
who
our approach,
but yes,
on
they feel
level.
like, what kind of car do you drive? Can you
women
afford?
Women don't want their time wasted. Like women don't want their time wasted. They want what they want when they want it and how they like it. So if you can't provide that,
it's not about how do you know if I'm providing. If I'm this is the first conversation. Like you don't know. I don't know nothing about you.
But that's important to her. But that's important to her on the first conversation.
We're talking about Biggie and Diddy and all that stuff about how they changed influence, but they're in our same cohort. So they grew up with the love music that we grew up with.
But I'm saying
influence. So that was in the streets.
Anyway, I'm saying when we were 20, when we were 18, 19, when we were teenagers, what was on the radio, what was on the videos, were these baller dudes.
And they were 20 and 18 too.
But they were a little older than us, but yes, so they were rapping about
Rakim, Big Daddy Kane.
They were older than us, but
yes. anyway, outside of this, because we are getting distracted.
Right.
Even if you take it out of the music, since we're asking about men and their desirability to get married, I know I've had conversations with my father, my uncles, dudes on the block who are older than me that gave me game.
Hold on
which
one second.
don't
we got
know about.
one call, and then we'll come back to your comment. Hey, caller, welcome to Conversations with Cupid.
Hey, what's happening? This is Cordell, Get Tight Right Personal Training. We're talking about the chase. Listen, a man will only chase and pursue for so long. After a while, he wants to be chased, and it needs to be mutual.
Right.
A lot of the relationships that I've pursued, I've chased and pursued the woman, but after a while, if I didn't call, if I didn't text, or if I didn't reach out, then I didn't hear from the woman. So a lot of time, a man will be chasing and pursuing a woman, but he gets tired of chasing because if it's not mutual, he's going to lose interest.
Right.
It needs to be mutual.
So you're saying it's a reciprocity. So what kind of things do you do to pursue a woman? Like, give me an idea.
Okay, like say for instance, if you show interest in a woman and you say, okay, say I would like to take you out to eat or do whatever, and you say you go out to eat and the dinner goes good or any other thing that you're doing, if the man is putting forth all the effort, if he's saying good morning, if he's sending out the texts and all of that, if I'm doing all the pursuing and there's not any pursuing or any of that coming back mutual, I'm pouring everything out of my cup and there's nothing getting back in my cup. That's where that's the disconnect.
This is what I think. I think that a lot of times men figure approaching a woman does not equal pursuit. So what I'm hearing from you is you reached out to her and expressed your interest in her. You're calling her, you're texting her. That to me is not equal to pursuit. But that's what you're describing. When I ask you for examples, what you described were text messages. You don't pursue me with the text.
But what I'm saying is, it's got to be mutual. It's got to be mutual interest. I mean, a lot of the reason
that's about being consistent.
Things are changing is because you have men that show interest in a woman and they're pursuing and chasing and all of that.
What does that mean? I don't think I want a man to tell me.
And they get tired of pursuing if it's not mutual.
Like giving you attention.
Because what they're
giving you crib with flowers, though, that's concrete.
Giving
no,
you
but
attention.
don't give them ideas. I want to. If you're saying that all you're doing is good morning, beautiful, how was your day? That is not pursuit.
It's not.
And I keep asking for example. I want.
what
How
I'm
are
saying
you
is
pursuing a woman? Give me that. Have you
That's
pursued a woman?
pursuing, because
Yes.
That's not pursuing.
That's taking time.
That's communication.
Listen, that's pursuing, because that's taking time and energy
It's probably got another
out of
time.
your day
No, that's
to let
not
that
pursuit.
person know that you're thinking
That's
about.
not courtship. That's not pursuit. That's not chasing. Sending me a text message saying good morning, beautiful.
checking in.
It's not. It's checking in. It's a
No,
communication.
I'm talking about it goes more than that. It's
I
saying
asked you
good
for
morning,
examples.
beautiful. You have some women that say, well, I didn't hear from you today. You didn't even send me a text.
That's still
most
not
people,
pursuit.
We in the technology savvy community where a text means a lot. So you sending a text, that means it's taking time and energy and thought. Your thought pattern to send out that text to let that person know that you're thinking about them.
That's still not pursuit,
and
sir.
That you're showing an interest.
This is the gap that's missing. So I want to fill in this gap. So I want you to tell me what is pursuit, Derek, because what I'm trying to get to is when women say that y'all aren't pursuing us, here's a gap that's missing. Men go, yeah, I'm sending text messages. You still not pursuing, and I don't think that they know what pursuit is. So have you pursued a woman, and give me examples of how you've pursued a woman?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
no, hold on. I'm asking Derek. Hold on, Cardell. I'm asking Derek. Hold on, Cardell. I'm asking Derek.
I think there is a disconnect. You have to reach out. Just sending a good morning text or being a gentleman or being nice and cordial doesn't mean that you get the woman. That's just being a good, nice human being. You don't deserve a woman just because you reach out. Now, if you are looking for a reciprocity, and I'm so glad I got that word out correctly.
Reciprocity, yes.
But if she's not being responsive, you need to charge her to the game.
Right.
But y'all still haven't hit. Let me ask Rodney. All right, I'm gonna go. Hold on, Cordell.
That's what I mean.
Hold on, Cordell.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Hold
That's what I
on.
mean by. That's what I mean by pursuing.
Okay,
I said,
hold
for
on,
instance, you reach out
Cordell.
with the Texas, if you're saying, okay, let's
That's
have
still not
dinner,
pursuing.
let's-
Hold on
let's
a
go
second.
work out together, and you're trying to do all those things to try to get the quality time to get to know that person. And say, for instance, okay, you do get the quality time, and you guys are maybe going out to go to the gym, work out together. You guys are having dinner. But here's the thing: none of that takes place if you don't call, if you don't text, or if you don't say, okay, let's have dinner. You're the one. The man is the one pushing all the buttons. The woman's not calling and saying, you know what? Hey, listen, I'm thinking about you. Let's do dinner tonight.
Okay, hold
You know
on,
what I'm saying?
hold
A
on,
man-
Cordell.
If a man is giving all of that, and
All right, thank you.
What I'm saying.
Hold on, because I keep saying hold on, but he wouldn't listen. But I appreciate him calling
I am the
in.
captain of the ship now.
I appreciate him calling in, and I appreciated his views, but I was trying to interject. Rodney, how have you pursued a woman? Give me examples.
Oh, example of me pursuing a woman, just initial conversation, and like I would say good morning, beautiful, but I'm not gonna say good morning, beautiful. I'm gonna go in depth about the whole morning, beautiful. Like, hey, I was thinking about you this morning. I know you're gonna have a long day. I want you to have a good day. When you get some time, text me back, and I'll go from there. Now, if she don't text me back throughout the day, I'm not about to keep on chasing her.
But see, this is what y'all missing.
No, look.
You don't chase by text.
Look, listen to me.
I want to get my point. Go ahead.
Listen. You got the text. It's delivered. Look, think about it being tech savvy all day. Everybody got a job. We all got 9 to 5. So basically, I text you at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. Boom. We busy. You got the text message like at like 6 o'clock. I know you got off at like 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock, especially if we've been texting for every day. If we texting every day and it's a consistent thing, and if I text you one particular morning and you didn't text me the whole day, I might call you and say, hey, what's going on? But some people are not good, like socialize. Some people are tech savvy and not on the phone. People don't.
Okay, this is what I want to communicate. None of you all have given me examples of pursuit.
You ain't asked me.
But hold on. But you're a woman. But hold on a second. Let me say this. When women say men don't know how to pursue, men don't pursue us anymore, and your response is, yes, I do. I sent a good morning text, or I sent a can we go to dinner text. You're still not pursuing, and you're missing it. So what's happening is we're communicating something, and what you think is pursuit is not pursuit. You don't pursue me by texting.
We put the kissy face emoji on there too.
I don't care. That's still not pursuing.
That kissy face means mwah.
No, that's still not pursuit. And that's the thing. And this is what I think is the disconnect. You think you're chasing. Chasing isn't a text message, sir. I don't care how many text message you sent.
Right,
That
we
is
agree.
not
We're not
texting.
saying with text
So
message.
what I'm saying is.
It's a start though, right?
Well, you know what?
Friend zone.
Well, what I'm
Put
saying
the
is,
gas in the car.
what I'm saying is, that's a disconnect. You don't know how to pursue. So when we say you're not pursuing us, it's true. Because you don't know how to pursue.
Pepe Le Pew was pursuing.
Yeah.
He was pursuing.
And she didn't want nothing to do with him. He was thirsty.
That was rape. That was rape.
That she wasn't even the
He
right
wanted
species.
Pepe Le Pew.
No, she wasn't even the right
that was
species.
rape.
But hold on, we have a caller.
That's how much he loved her.
Hold on, we have a caller waiting on hold. Go ahead. Caller.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to Conversations with Cupid.
Hey Shay, this is Tina. I'm the
Hey.
firefighting diva.
Hey,
Hey,
Tina.
I'm a little bit older. I'm 51.
Okay.
And the thing that I see the most out of the whole conversation and topic is no one is communicating. No one is listening to hear the other side. Shay, you told the guy on the phone that, texting is not pursuing, and he basically just kept talking. And we asked earlier, the whole conversation was about men not wanting marriage or why not. And we have a lot of women chiming in. So, we're not listening to each other. That's the bottom line. And then the answers that we get, we're not accepting those answers and trying to, listen from an end of understanding. So, I'm an older woman who was married for 18 years, and I choose not to be married now. And because I'm enjoying my life. I got married at 19, so, But it's just us not actually, everybody wants to put their say in, but no one wants to listen to each other and actually listen to understand.
Nice to meet you. All right, I think you're absolutely correct, Tina. Yeah. Yes, speak. You don't want to be? That's what I was setting up. You don't want to be? Okay, come on. All right, so introduce yourself here. Okay, I think you're absolutely right, Tina. We're not listening to each other, and that's what I want to get to. So we now have a new guest, Sean, joined us in the studio. Sean, if you could introduce yourself, your name, age, occupation, whatever you want them to know about you. They keep calling. No, just go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Sean. I call 37.
Yeah.
From Chicago. I live in Atlanta. Occupation, numerous things, but I'm in wireless sales. That's my main thing. That's for now.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, listen. I ask the guys, how do they pursue a woman? Because women often say men no longer pursue us. Okay.
Lies.
And you say it's lies. When I've asked 3 guys, and all of them have said they send good morning, beautiful text messages, and they send a follow up. Hey, can we meet up? And they consider that to be pursuing. So I'm going to ask you, how do you pursue a woman that you're interested in?
Me?
How do you, Sean, pursue a woman that you're interested in?
All honesty, I'm guilty of that too. I'm guilty of the good morning, beautiful. Hey, big head. Those things. But let me tell you why. The demographics of dating has changed because the whole. Let's be honest. The whole. Hey, how you doing? How's your day going? I'm okay. And I'd be like, damn. Like,
you said that, Rodney.
So what happens is, now we the thirst buckets saying hi. So I go back to the savage me. Damn, what you doing? But that's the 2:00 in the morning text.
You send booty call text.
Hell yeah!
But that's not pursuit.
That is pursuing.
Pursue for what he wants.
Let me tell you why.
It's pursuing for
the
what
women.
you want.
I love you, Shay. Let's be honest for a second.
Okay.
The women that want the genuine courtship, right, have fell victim to the thirst syndrome. They hear from their friends, oh, girl, he thirsty. And so what happens, because y'all got the girls' night out. Y'all go out and kick it. And y'all go to, $2 Tuesdays at, And so, girl, I like this guy, but he keeps, oh, he thirsty. Girl, you need a real man. You need a man that's going to do it. And so what happens is we wonder why you halfway as responding to my messages. So I hit you with the, good morning, beautiful. So that sets the tone of the day. So how you respond to that determines whether or not I'm gonna follow up and engage in conversation.
So let me tell y'all something. So I haven't been on the market in the good morning beautiful age. Okay. So I'll communicate that. So to me, this is all I know. This is what happens, but this would be unacceptable for me. Like that's not how you pursue Shay. Like you don't pursue me with the good morning beautiful because you can send that text to 10, 20 women at one time.
Oh, here's
how
the real.
do I know that it's special to me?
But we do. We send it to 10 and 20.
Well, then that's not
no, it is. But whoever whoever responds accordingly
No,
gets the
sir.
conversation
Wow.
for the day.
No, sir.
You didn't do it in the group text.
No,
You did
sir.
it individually.
No, sir.
That's just being real.
That's not pursuit, and that's what I'm trying to. Let me.
You think men just pursue one woman in 2017? That shit played out in the 80s.
Let me tell you something.
I don't even know if I can curse. I curse on my show.
Please don't curse. But
Okay.
let me tell you.
That's what I was like.
Let me tell you what pursuit is. Let me give you my
Fair.
as a woman how I like to be pursued. How my man pursued me. Straight up. Yes, it started in inbox. Like we inbox each other, and on our first communication, he was like, "What are you doing tonight?
Yes.
What are you
Make a
doing
plan.
tonight?" Like,
Make a
and I
plan.
said, "I get off the X time. Let's meet tonight." Like it was a let's meet right now. We met right then, and we begin. So it wasn't this whole good morning, beautiful. Like no, like.
But in my defense, when man, I can say this brother probably has done that, and we do that, and then this what happens. Oh, why you want to see me already? See, you
Actually, that happens every day.
That happens
every
day.
day. That's what I'm saying.
being
It's a
trendy?
different era. Like it's different. It's a different era. Like he said, demographics. It's a different era when it comes to like communicating. You know that you want to see someone. If you want to see someone too soon, like he a stalker. What? Why he want to see me so soon? Like it's so. It's
who you live with?
Right.
What you want to see me for?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
The real question here is not a matter of who you send. It's a matter of how long have I known this person?
Yeah.
Because if it's a shorty I just met, good morning is a stretch. Like, what's up? Like, good morning. How you doing? Can I meet you today? But again, if I've been talking to you and known you for 2-3 months,
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
don't know.
not
What
gonna
they
be on
need
some
to
good morning. It's like, yo, what's
Exactly.
up? I'm trying to do X, Y, Z. And if you're not feeling that, then it's cool. But if you're not feeling good morning and I met you last week, bye. Like,
But let me tell y'all something. When women say, so just so you know, when women say men don't pursue anymore, if you feel that sending a good morning, beautiful text is your idea of pursuit, then they are correct. You're not pursuing. We don't consider that pursuit. Sending a good morning, beautiful text does not equal pursuit.
So can we be honest? Let's just say this. So let's be fair. We now know that some women are they think that the good morning text is whatever is not proper way, and we men feel on the defense because we are considered thirsty if we give you the cordial conversation. So my thing is,
cordial conversation equals thirsty.
Hello?
Hold
Yeah,
on.
being nice is not flirting though. Being nice is not flirting.
Hold on, let me get our caller. Hey, caller, welcome to Conversations with Cupid.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Good. Who's calling?
This is Darnell King.
Hey, Darnell.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I want you
Have
to
y'all
answer
called?
this question too,
Go ahead, I'm
Darnell.
sorry.
How do you pursue a woman?
How do I pursue a woman? That's what I called to talk about. They talking about they doing all this texting and stuff, and they not texting back. It's probably the content of the conversation that you giving her when you text her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
You don't even know what type
when I
of woman you
pursue a
dealing
woman,
with.
I'm probably more than likely gonna key in on her interest and show interest in those things and use those things to my advantage. Like if she's into art, I'm gonna act like I know about art. Not think about
Exactly. Do some research.
like I know those
But
things.
when
I'm
y'all
gonna-
laughing, but
you know
we
what
be
I'm saying? I'm gonna
impressed
show
by
interest
stuff
in
like
those
that.
things. I'm gonna
Y'all are laughing, but we would be impressed by that.
I'm gonna take her to places that key her interest in things like that. Sorry,
I know we got so many callers. I'm sorry, Darnell. This is a hot topic, but what you just said, Darnell, that if you came to me at something I post about, and you're like, oh, you're into. I see that you went to the museum last week. Yeah, I plan to go there. How was that exhibit? I'm gonna be interested. Right. That's deeper. That's not creepy.
Y'all keep on trying to indicate that.
It don't matter.
It do. Because if I just talked to you for the first time and I say I seen you was at the zoo last week, I like that outfit you wore. You had the curly hair.
Man, that's the way it used to be though.
You get
blocked. No, it's not.
I've already built up a rapport. I'm not about to pursue a woman that I haven't already built up a rapport with.
But how do you build a rapport?
Darnell, how do you get the rapport?
Exactly. How do you get
means
rapport?
That you have a medium of exchange
So
of something, right?
Here's your benefit with Facebook. Let me tell you the benefit that you have with Facebook. Is if this is the benefit that you
can
have
find out
when you
person's
friend
likes.
someone on Facebook and they make comments. You can comment on their. They make a post. You can comment on the post, not in the inbox. They went to the zoo. Oh, I want to take my little cousin to the zoo. Did you see blah blah blah? What, Derek?
Shay.
I'm talking about on the post.
Shay, if I see a woman I like on Facebook and I hit that friend request and she don't know me or got no mutual friends, stranger danger alarm. So I'm at the point now where I don't even want to do like Facebook dating or online dating. I meet on person. So when you say pursue, I'm at the point now where it's easier for me to meet you out on face to face.
All right, but I'm giving examples. If we're talking about social media, okay, if you're in a Facebook group, for example,
making pursue a woman more difficult than what it really is.
Yeah, they really are. I agree with you, Darnell. But what I'm saying is in my group in MCM. Let's say you're not Facebook friends. She makes a post in MCM and you just comment on that or you reply to that. That's a way to start building rapport. And she's like, oh, Derek is funny. Oh, he's insightful. Now she's going to warm up and go, oh, I like him. Then when you send a friend request, yeah, I know Derek. Then you can hit her up like, you know what? I see that you're interested in X, Y, and Z. That's how it works. We consider that pursuit.
I understand that, but that's not pursuit. That's you mutually liking me, and I don't know that. I just have to take my shot. If you never saw my post, I would still be in your inbox, and then you would be looking at me like, who is this dude?
I just you would take it out of the Facebook. Take Facebook out of it. Join a pottery class. Join a cooking class. Go, something like that. And then when you pay attention.
Who does that?
I'm just saying,
Go out and live your life.
Go out and do some things. Exactly.
Oh, wait. Too many people talking at one time. Okay, go ahead. Darnell, what were you saying?
I mean, it's not, to me, it sounds like with the problem a lot of y'all having with this concept of pursuing women is y'all pursuing women that don't want you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
It's to a certain extent.
I don't have those problems.
Like they said before, sometimes you got to play your lane. Like, because it just sounds like y'all pursuing women that are not interested.
Right.
So now you're saying that women are unapproachable or your pursuit is not working or whatever.
Not every woman's going to like you. You talk to one woman, just from saying good morning, beautiful, doesn't mean that you are allowed, that she like you or whatever. And just keep moving.
It sounds like men throw a lot of women in the same category.
I want to first clear this up. Good morning, beautiful is not pursuit. Let's clear that up.
I agree with you.
Okay, and you all said
good morning, beautiful is not pursuit.
It's
that
not
is
pursuit.
letting her know that
And
it's the morning time
good
to cross
morning.
my mind.
It's
That's
agreed.
setting up anything further that I'm going to communicate with her.
It's no different than me sending her a good morning, beautiful text. It means nothing. It doesn't mean that you're interested.
That's another demographic though.
Well, how?
Because girls are pursuing the same way though.
Girls send good morning.
Hell yeah!
That's an option. She's making an option.
No, but she's starting. But you got to start somewhere, Shay. You got to have a start. So that's where everybody's missing a point. That's where everybody's missing.
Challenge everybody to go on a no cell phone, no Facebook dating challenge.
Everybody's missing a point. Like think about
I can't hear because it's like 10 people talking at one time.
I feel like everybody's missing a point. Like we're saying is that's how you start. Like we're not saying that's pursuing.
But I didn't ask about how you start. I said, how do you pursue? And everybody gave me that. That's what everybody gave me when I asked the question. Now, am I lying?
You're not lying.
Okay, so I didn't say tell me how you start. I said, how do you pursue? And everybody.
Can I ask you what was the issue with the way I was describing pursuing a woman? In case I'm doing something wrong.
What?
Because they all said that they pursue by text messages, and they consider that to be pursuit. And if she doesn't respond back to that, then they stop communicating. That's how they consider it.
Can I be honest?
Can I be honest? Pursue Rodney simply off
now Darnell, hold on. If you can hear me, I'm gonna be 1,000% honest with everybody. The reason why I text more so than I talk, because I'm a hands-on, tangible person.
Exactly.
So me talking on the phone, I think that's high school.
Okay.
Like and women like to talk. Y'all like to talk about whatever. And I'm a great.
What does texting accomplish though? Texting is not a. You can't. I'm not going to be able to tell what kind of emotion a woman is giving me through.
That's the problem. You shouldn't care what a woman. You shouldn't care about that as a man.
Texting is like the most primitive form to communicate or try to build a relationship with somebody because you're not getting the full emotion of what that person is saying.
I don't want to be in tune with a woman's emotions because y'all too emotional. I just want to have a conversation with you.
You're missing what I'm asking.
Well, hold on.
What is text messaging accomplishing? You saying that you rather text than talk?
Right.
You're gonna get more out of a real conversation than what you're gonna get out of a text.
No, but see, Darnell,
you can misconstrue anything a woman texts you. You can misconstrue and take any kind of way.
That's true.
So here's my point.
Give you a one-word text,
and here's my point to
As,
that.
a negative response.
Here's my point to that. Your goal when you send that text should be to get face to face because you don't like texting. Thank you.
That's
you don't like texting. You don't like talking. So your goal needs to be when can I see you?
Yeah.
That's what you need to be going. You need to go straight to the I want to take you to dinner. I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to, I want to get to know you better. You have some qualities that I like. I want to research and delve deeper and see if this can be something. When can I see you? That needs to be your next thing.
Be honest, but your group, but MCM, I'm 2 seconds. Your group has those type of women.
It does.
I got to be honest. Before, when I would hit them with, okay, I'm gonna be real. I don't have a problem meeting a woman. I don't have that issue.
Right.
The issue is that I like doing like, hey, you know what? If I'm vibing with you, let's meet up. Let's have a coffee. Let's have a drink. You know what I'm saying? Let's smash. I'm sorry, but I just be real. Whatever comes off my, I'm just being honest. But seriously, the group, and that's one thing I like about your group. You have like-minded women,
professionals,
and they like, you know what? Cool. Let's do me for a coffee or a drink.
Yes.
And then I don't have to waste 7 conversations about nothing, then finally go out and be like, you actually born in real life, because most people now are awkwardly social.
Yes.
So when I actually meet you, you're like, you're boring as hell.
And you can stop right there.
I'd rather talk to you on the phone, and I'm done.
But you can stop your pursuit.
Exactly.
So that's fine. So what you need to do is, when you send that good morning, beautiful, what time do you get off work? I was wondering if we could stop, meet at Starbucks, or just drop it in, because that's going to be how you begin to pursue. Once you get to the Starbucks or wherever y'all go to meet up.
Starbucks costs too much. If I take it to Starbucks, we smash it.
Okay.
Starbucks is $8.
All right.
Smash it.
Where would you take her?
Dunkin' Donuts.
All right, I don't care. So Dunkin' Donuts. There's a Dunkin' Donuts by your job.
I
Let's
know.
meet at Dunkin' Donuts. All
Fair.
right. Meet at Dunkin' Donuts and determine if y'all have any chemistry. Now here's where you start pursuing.
I see why the lesbians winning.
So when we say,
see why the lesbians winning.
But when we say that y'all don't pursue, it's because of that. This is the disconnect.
Y'all winning by default. Lesbians winning by default.
You think that pursuit is a text, and it's so not. We don't see that as pursuit.
Fair.
So if that's what you think is pursuing, that's the disconnect.
I don't.
I just feel like pursuing forth effort, like putting forth more effort than a text message.
Okay.
A lot.
What side you on, man?
I just want MCM to know that if Darnell get in your inbox and tell you he like art, that nigga lying. That dude lying. Anything you like.
One thing I've heard about Darnell, though, from the ladies who he's gone out with, they say he show up with flowers.
He's very. I can tell he's
He
attentive.
shows up to the dates with flowers. When's the last time y'all brought flowers on a date? You're a flower kind of guy.
Flowers.
That's
Hey, flower. I bring a flower because I represent.
That's
No. But think about it.
That's
Listen to the story though. I feel like everybody does the dozen flower thing. That's so played out to me.
So you want to do
So one flower is like that represents a single thought to me. Like you were on my mind. Like you're that powerful thing that's on my mind. So I'm going, and once I give it to you, I'm going to explain why I give you one rose. A lot of people don't explain stuff.
Rodney, now we're getting to pursuit. So when you start your conversation with how you pursue a woman, that's where you start. I show up on a date with a single flower.
Yeah.
And now we're beginning to pursue, because now she's going to feel, oh, he wants me. He brought a flower. Now this is going to set you apart, because every dude ain't bringing flowers.
How you get to the point where you knock on the door with the flower?
You have to ask for the date. You got to go jump into. You got to ask for the date.
But is asking the date pursuing?
That's part of the pursuit.
Do a text?
No.
You can call or text. I don't care, but you have to ask.
No,
it's
not
not
the
good.
text.
It's not. No, it's not good morning, beautiful.
That glove?
Listen,
it ain't fitting.
it's not
Wants to
good
quit.
morning. It's not good morning, beautiful.
I
It's
get you.
can we meet for dinner? Can we meet for coffee?
Sure.
Can we
Can I
meet for
take
ice
you
cream?
out?
Can I see you? Now you're beginning to pursue. And then when you show up with the flower, when you show up with the chocolate, when you show up with the bear, you're pursuing at that point. You're not
lesbians-
pursuing by sending a
lesbians bring flowers?
But you
Also,
might not like that. You
Shay.
have to find out what a woman
Here we
likes.
go.
You do
Hey,
have to.
Shay.
And then
Here
don't
we
quit
go.
being authentic as well. Some people try to do what they
Impress.
were taught, and then you can just be yourself and be like, I don't do flowers, I don't do this, but this is who I am. This is who I'm gonna be.
Exactly.
And if we talking about marriage, you're not gonna be this representative. If we talking about, to get back to the topic of marriage, you need to be who you're gonna be.
The whole time. But
Right.
I will tell you, and
Your
y'all know I
interests.
use my personal relationship often, but he pursued me like hard, like every day doing something. Like, I'm cooking for you today. I'm washing your car
Right,
tomorrow. Like
right.
every day it was something. He came at me hard, like,
Yes.
I want you and I'm gonna get you.
Yes.
That's pursuit.
Like Roman
Y'all are
Rome.
missing that. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
tell you. You're missing it.
I don't have time for that.
He knew you.
You don't have time to settle down.
A lot of.
This coming from, are we talking about pursuing a woman or pursuing a relationship?
Right.
Like, where they
Right.
talking about good morning, it's like, I just met you, I'm pursuing you to talk to you some more. But you talking about pursuing, like, I want to be with you longingly.
It could be the same thing. It could be I just met you.
I'm just trying to, you know what I'm saying? Good morning. If you respond to that good morning back, I can see what you're talking about tonight. Like, I'm not talking about, like,
No, some men, let me tell you, I've seen text strings where some men go, good morning, beautiful. She says, hey, good morning. And then he says, WYD. Then she says, working.
Yeah.
That's dead. That's not pursuit.
There's
a lot of whack text. Back and forth.
I just GTD.
What's that?
Get them draws.
All right.
So do men even want to be married? They don't sound like they want to be married.
I think they do, but I think they do. What we heard them say is they want to be married, but what I think is they have a real problem getting to the date.
To the point where
Okay, can we be real? Can we be real for a second? Are you a lesbian? Because you referred.
Yes, 100%.
I love this. You should never told me that shit. Stuff. So you like my biggest competition. Like right now, I'm Pepsi and you like Coke.
Yes, women are going from dick to date.
You ain't lying.
Baby, Why?
Yes.
Oh
man,
y'all don't bring flowers.
So many reasons.
And I got a vein in mine.
We don't need to bring flowers because we find out what they want.
Callers,
you know what I'm saying? I think it's the same Cordell. He the one. He's stalking.
Oh. He thirsty.
I think he's thirsty for something.
He's trying to revert you.
Right. But no,
he's trying to revert.
Okay.
Like the woman I'm in love with, it's been 10 years since I've seen her, but I can remember.
Since you've seen her.
Yeah, since I've seen her. It's been 10 years since I've seen her, and I've been through a whole bunch of other women, pursuing them, paying their rent, you know what I'm saying, paying some car notes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Now compare that to a good
but
morning.
But because I'm listening to the woman's needs. I'm listening to, what she's concerned about, what's important to her. Even though it may not be important to me, it's important to her. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to take care of that. Yeah, I could have went to Thailand and, fulfill some thought goals, but she needed her rent paid. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is a woman who I would want to be with. But it's a level to it. And listening to the woman is number one. Finding out what she needs, what she wants, what sets her off, what pisses her off. You have to find those things out when you pursue a woman. Find out what she drink. Already had the drink. Tell the bartender, when you see this woman walk through the door, already have the drink ready.
And
you know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Take some steps ahead. Like, be ahead of her.
So instead of saying good morning, beautiful, you could just say, hey, if we were to go out, what would you order? What's your favorite thing to drink? What's your favorite meal?
It's some women out here though who getting free meals. They don't really not interested in a man, and they just want free food, but they will do anything. They'll lead you on. And
look, it's a struggle out here.
But I got female friends who tell me all the time they may not be interested in a man, but if they hungry, they gonna do it. That's like a trend right now.
And there are men who are out here that just want them draws, like Sean just said, and we don't know the difference because he's sending a good morning, beautiful text too. So we don't know the difference between who's coming at us for a relationship and who just want the draws.
It's hard to know what's real and what's not real.
You know what? I'm reading the Facebook. Comments. So now I'm lame, right? Because I'm lame. Let me tell you this, because this is my biggest. This is what you don't know. So there's a couple women. I'm not going to call their names out, but it's public. So I'm lame. I'm not funny, right? But I really am in real life.
Oh, they said that.
Yeah, because I do that. I write jokes for a living. But here's what's funny.
You really do?
Yeah. So here's what's funny. I do this purposely to find out women who don't have sense of humor and personality.
Ooh-wee.
If you can't laugh at, I'm obviously being obnoxious, and you're so serious in your life. While you at home angry and mad, Netflix and chilling by yourself, who's really lame? Like, here's what I'm saying. While you're posting like my phone is dry text and you're looking for attention because this is why you have no personality. Right. So here's the thing. People don't understand that. Women are not really getting pursued because you don't have realistic personality. Right. You're so serious in life that everything runs on a schedule or an actual itinerary. Baby, life don't run on an itinerary. Life just happens. Right. And if I just happen to meet you and like you, then I'll really pursue you. Here's the real part. If I like you, I'll really pursue you. But if I have to figure you out too much, then I'm going to waste yours and my time. It's the truth. If you like, I joke and laugh with people because I'm from Chicago. I grew up in real situations. Right. So I have to break the ice to get to know who you are. And if you don't laugh and you stone faced, I know your vagina is dry.
Yup, it's a drought going on out here. Trust me.
Okay, hold on. Let's move it. Let me go back to the topic here. Whoa, Sean. All right. Let me ask you all this final question. Do you desire to be married?
I've gotten to the point where I stopped saying I want to be married. And I'm not saying this. I've gotten to the point where I say I want to be a great husband. Because a lot of people are doing the marriage thing as a checklist thing. But what are we giving? Marriage is about what you give to another person. And I need to be my best self. And just being my best self, life is about ups and downs. Be a good husband. Ladies, have a goal.
What does that mean to be a good husband?
Being a good husband is, like you said, listening, being supportive, being consistent, and knowing that you're going to be there. And sometimes earlier was about the kids, but you got to realize a marriage is longer than that 18 years because that child is going to leave that house, and you're going to be in the house with
that person.
Maybe a
stranger.
Do you
even like that person?
That you even like that person. Being a good husband is reading the tea leaves and going through this journey of life together. And do I want marriage? At this point, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. I want holy matrimony. That's the thing that the young lady was talking about earlier, where it's more esoteric. Because marriage is a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Marriage is something that's a joining of business assets.
So beyond
together.
the piece of paper,
Yes.
you want the life partnership.
I want a unison with someone.
Yes. No, and I agree. I think that's essential to me too. I think it's needed in our community. Like our kids need to see it, and it builds legacy for our future generations.
Tradition.
It's needed. Tradition. You got to set you got to set this tone of this is what we do in our family. I think it's needed, and we don't have that. We don't have enough examples of it.
Right.
All right.
It's
so
exciting.
I'm not gonna ask you because that's not our topic. So you understand. All right, Rodney. So, do you desire to be married?
I desire marriage. I feel like it's an exciting thing because it's a new millennia. Like when I seen it, in the past with my granddad and grandma, like they didn't have like technology I have. I want to share my life with someone. That's dope. I don't want to be out here like going 50 or 40s in the club talking about, hey, shorty, trying to pay some bills. No, I want a life where, when I get old, I can sit back with my wife and we can talk about all the good times. Because marriage to me is deeper than a physical appearance.
Yes.
It's a lifestyle. Like it's bigger than just you and me. It's our world.
Yes.
That's deep to me.
Yeah.
Our world.
Yes.
Like it's like we don't see anyone else but us.
Yes.
Like it's always good to have like a partner in crime.
Yeah.
And people forget about that. Like when you got so many people that you're dealing with, you can't put your energy into everybody. How can you put all your energy in everybody? Like when you put that into that one thing, your wife can be everything to you. And that's what
all you need.
that's all I need.
Yeah.
You feel me? And no matter age, that people say because you're young, age don't got nothing to deal with love and wanting something real. So it's just I so happen to be this age. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just do desire marriage.
You do desire marriage. All right, Sean, do you desire marriage?
100%.
100%.
With the right person. The one thing I've learned, and when I was sitting on the phone and I was driving through miserable traffic, by the way.
Well,
but
thank you for coming.
I knew I wanted marriage when I had my son because I had a vision of family. But at the time, I was 23.
Oh, I had my son at 23 too.
See? So we got something in common.
Our kids are the same age.
And so I learned at that point that I was like, I wanted that. I desired that, right? Beforehand, I was just having fun. And then I realized the levels of stability it takes to maintain a family. So I wasn't mentally ready. So at that point, I started to take the steps to become successful in a sense and not to just be successful and go for the $1 million dream. I just wanted to gain stability in my life. So that was my pursuit and has been, and I've been, I don't like to talk about myself and my accomplishments, but here's the thing is that I desire family because one, it's the safest thing to do. I like consistency and I want to be where I want to be I want to have the long-term companionship and family. Like the one thing my homeboy taught me the best when he got married, because it's a person that I would never thought would get married, and he was like, you know what? He said, if you ever think you're going to be financially ready, if you ever think you're going to be this and that, and I keep doing that, he said, you'll never be married. When he got married, he had just enough to maintain his household. But it was that his partnership, because marriage is a business. So you have to be realistic. And a lot of women focus on the logistics of marriage, meaning, well, a man got to have this, got to have a car, got to have a house. That's y'all focus. But don't realize that love don't pay the bills.
Right.
So I'm stable, I got this and that, but I have no personality. Then you stick with them, and then you're stuck for 10 years. You have a child with them, and then now you're unhappy. Instead of marrying, like nobody marries like our grandparents did.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They married
exactly.
They built together.
And I said this before, and somebody thought I was crazy, and they thought about it after they listened. and they was like, you know what? That is what's missing. Building.
Yes,
We don't
is.
build.
Yes.
If I make $65,000 a year, which I don't, but if I made that and you made $45,000 a year, right?
It's
Right.
110 together.
But here's this. But we
Right.
got just as much as in debt than we do in income. How are you really succeeding in life? Okay, sweetheart, you make 6 figures. You went to school for
But I'm
7,
looking at
8
your
years.
debt.
Baby girl, you got debt just like I do. So it really doesn't matter. At this point, it's about building
It
and
is.
being stable, and that's the factor that we miss out on.
Yes, go ahead.
One more
quickly.
thing. Back in the day, people used to start off with marriage. Back in
And
the day,
then
it was
build from there.
it was a cornerstone,
Yes.
and now our generation is waiting. We're gonna travel.
I have to
we're
get
gonna-
all this together.
You're gonna graduate. So now they look at marriage as like a capstone on top of your life.
I think that's a very good point. And let me say that what I find with singles, being, I'm a matchmaker, is y'all have analysis paralysis. So it's you're constantly thinking it's got to be the right one. I got to do all these things. I need to get all this in order.
It's never
So
gonna be
in this
perfect, son.
analysis, you're stuck.
Yep.
And then you're going to look
Facts.
up. It's going to be 10 years from now in the
Still
same spot
stuck.
that you're still trying to calculate and make sure you got it all together before you say I do. And that's what I really want to help you with. How do you get stuck? Because you know you got to get some things in order. You know you got to have a house or a car or whatever. And you want to get all these things in order. But to your point, will you ever have it all together?
No.
And what about the parts that your partner brings? I think that's the thing that we forget is you are never gonna have it all. You're gonna bring your best self. Your partner's gonna bring her best self, and you're gonna come together and make it all. And then you're still not gonna have it all. You still
Things
gonna have some
change,
pieces,
yeah.
misses,
Life
and you're gonna have
is
to
ups
build
and
and grow to those places. And I think we just keep waiting for we keep waiting for the next best thing. That's why we can't settle down, because you meet this one girl and she's got all these things, but this is missing, and I think I can get that with somebody else. I'm gonna move on, and you let her go and you find somebody else, and then she don't have it all. So you keep
Then you
looking
wanna
for
go
this.
back.
Right, and
Hey,
you bouncing back.
next
and
girl
forth.
on my inbox, we getting married. Hit me up
Here's
right
the
now.
thing: nobody is gonna be 100%. You're not gonna be 100%, and she's not gonna be 100%.
Well, it's real simple. No one deserves to have the best of you if they haven't seen the worst of you. And if you can't go
Exactly.
through, the gutter with me, if you're not
That's
that
the-
ride
that's
or
the-
die,
that's the
then
thing
that's
right
not the
there.
one for you. But you gotta love somebody at their lowest. And people have a problem with showing that selves of themselves, and that's important. I want to know the worst of you.
And that's
when I
when you
first
marry
meet
someone
you.
at that level, because everybody,
hide.
you can have the nicest car, you can have all the money in the world, but if you can't stick with me, if we lose it all.
Right.
I don't know you. Like
Exactly.
you want to be with somebody
And that's
who.
when a relationship is tried
Tested,
and tested.
yeah.
Yes,
Facts.
because
That is-
I've been through that
facts.
in my relationship. I've been through that because y'all know I'm an entrepreneur, and as an entrepreneur, it's flowing sometimes, and sometimes
It
it's
ain't.
not. I need to know that you're gonna be with me
Through it all.
Through
when
it
I have
all.
it, when I don't, and he had to learn that I would be with him when he had it and when he
Right.
didn't.
Facts.
And because we've gone through that on both sides, we know we're gonna be here with each other regardless.
Facts.
And I think we're so scared of. You talked about fear. We're so scared of being vulnerable, opening ourselves up to that. When we had the panel a couple weeks ago, somebody said she wouldn't be with somebody who wasn't more financially stable than she was because she don't want to struggle anymore. But that's what I'm saying. You're trying to plan for the I never want to struggle again. I never want to.
calling it into existence.
And
when you
that's
do
what
that.
I mean. We're stuck at
Setting
analysis
yourself up.
paralysis. Like you got to get out of that. You got to get beyond that
I'm gonna use that.
and take the
Overthinking.
chance.
It's overthinking.
Too. I think a lot of times we, as I don't want to say black people, equate our happiness and joy with pain. A lot of times, where I think a lot of times we think, will this person do with me at my worst? But a lot of times I think, will this person do with me at my best?
Both.
Meaning, will this person push me to be my best? Because if I can't be my best with you, then they
Yeah.
talk about my worst.
And the
Right.
thing is, can you handle me when I get to my best? Because one of the things that I want to share, I know we have to wrap up, is when I met my man, I just had one business, and because he is such a rock for me, he's such a foundation push for me. Like you can do it. He believes I can do anything. He's pushed me to success. Now.
Good
He had
fella.
to push me to success, but still be strong enough to handle me at my success.
Yeah.
Because some men will push you to success and then be intimidated by your success. He still got to know I'm still that dude. Like you, and I still got to treat you like that dude, regardless of where I go. You know what I mean? That's what Stedman had.
But the
Stedman
motivation-
Stedman was with Oprah before she became a billionaire.
But the
so
motivation
now he
is-
30 years in. I helped you get here.
That's
So
facts.
you
I
got
didn't
to
even know that.
some of
I
that
didn't
to
even
me.
know
I'm
Stedman
some of
was
the
a
wind
billionaire. I
beneath
thought
your
Stedman
wings.
came around
You
when
know
he
what I
was a
mean?
billionaires.
And that's the partnership that comes with it. So anyway, we could talk about this forever, but I really think this was a great topic, and I want to thank you all for coming. And we probably need to do it again. But I really want, we probably need to have a part 2 because I feel like there's so many pieces we didn't cover. It's such a big issue in our community. The marriage rates have gone down, unfortunately, and significantly down. If you look at the numbers from the 1960s, all of us would be married in the 1960s, and today it's so common to find so many who are not
single.
And you got to think why. What are those factors that's causing that? And we're doing better than we were in the 1960s.
That's true.
We're doing better than we were in the 1990s. We're making more money than we ever had. We're more educated than we've ever been, yet we're by ourselves. What is that? Why?
Lesbians winning.
I ain't mad.
But some of them are single too, and so it's black
miserable.
people. It's not, it's
true.
black people as a whole.
Yeah.
So I do want to delve deeper in this. I do want to talk about this on another level. But thank you all so much for being vulnerable and transparent and honest. And tune in next week to Conversations with Cupid. Smooches.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning in to the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is In-State Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
That welfare and all that good. All the black men locked up. Like,
next to your Obama locked up on black folks in the
It's kind of hard to imagine that I could ever want you with this kind of passion. Who would ever thought that I could ever need you in my life, girl? You're lethal. Boom. Look at here, girl. You so fly. You the flyest thing I ever seen in the sky. You make me want to say.
The problem is, it's so many factors to. Let me tell you this. It's so many factors. But here's one. We're missing out. One thing we're missing out is that men don't know how to be men anymore, and women